struggles of our heroes who fought to free Nigeria from colonial rule. It should be a day for gratitude to Almighty God for His blessings on our nation. On October 1, 1960, Nigeria gained independence to a global acclaim as an emerging African economic and political power. Such was the potential that the Time magazine predicted the rise of a true African superpower that will lead the continent with pride. Our founding fathers fought for independence with confidence, passion, and determination to build a prosperous Nigeria that will stand alongside the world's most advanced nations. Unfortunately, the tragic failure of leadership derailed this vision.
Okay.
Yet, despite the setbacks, Nigeria has always shown resilience. In 1999, we overcame military dictatorship and restored democracy, beginning a renewed journey towards prosperity, freedom, and justice. That journey helped us to build Africa's largest economy and strengthened our democratic journey. But over the last decade, under APC incompetent, divisive, and corrupt leadership, Nigeria has been greatly diminished.
Wow.
In 2007, our total debt was about 2.5 trillion. Only about 10% of our GDP, after President Obasanjo's government has successfully secured debt forgiveness of over $30 billion. By 2014, Nigeria had become Africa's largest economy and was primed to achieve middle income status. In 2015, for the first time, a ruling party was defeated in a presidential election, marking another milestone for our democratic journey. Today, the picture is bleak. Our total debt stands at about 170 trillion, nearly 50% of our GDP, without any improvement in our productive sector. Nigeria has now fallen to the fourth largest economy in Africa, behind South Africa, Egypt, and Algeria. Our democracy is now described as undemocratic. In just 1 year of this administration, 15 million Nigerians were pushed into acute poverty. Today, more than 150 million Nigerians lack access to basic health, education, water, and sanitation. The number is growing daily under the APC government that pursues brutal revenue-driven policies while ignoring the people's welfare. Nigeria now ranks among the lowest in the world in human development indicators. This government taxes struggling citizens and small businesses heavily while indulging in extravagance. Billions are spent on new presidential jets, yachts, and luxury cars. The cost of which is more than the 2024 budget for primary health care. The Vice President's residence was estimated at a cost of 25 billion, more than the capital budget of our entire university research program and 6 university teaching hospitals combined. Over 10 billion was budgeted for National Assembly, car park and canteen, more than the capital budget of Ministry of Science and Technology. At a time, science is crucial for national growth. Meanwhile, Nigerians pay more for everything now and receive less. Passports, permits, electricity, petrol, food, rent, healthcare, all cost more. Yet, power supply remains unreliable, food insecurity deepens. UNICEF World Food Program projects that 33 million Nigerians will face acute hunger in 2025. This government borrows recklessly, not for investment in productive infrastructure, but for wasteful consumption. Insecurity has further crippled our economy. Nigerians now live in fear of traveling by road. Kidnapping has become rampant, with billions paid as ransom. Incompetence in security management has turned our country into one of the most terrorized and unsafe nations in the world. Cronyism, corruption, and disregard for rule of law have scared away investors, while other African countries have overtaken us as preferred investment destinations. Despite this mismanagement, Nigeria's potential for greatness remains. We cannot give up on the dream of a prosperous and secure nation. What we need now is competent, compassionate, and committed leadership. Our primary priority must be prudent economic management, investment in human capital, rule of law, and infrastructure development. We must mobilize our enormous natural resources to drastically reduce poverty and achieve rapid, sustained growth. We should learn from nations like China, India, Indonesia, and Bangladesh, which have turned around their economies through disciplined leadership and people-oriented policies. Nigeria too can rebound, but only if we exit the path of incompetence and fiscal irresponsibility. The current failures must not lead us to despair. They should instead fuel our determination to rebuild. Nigeria has the resources, talent, resilience to become an industrialized nation in record time. With the right leadership, we can defeat terrorism and restore security and guarantee Nigerians safe communities where enterprise and social life can thrive. We must not end a system where leaders feast while the people starve. That must end. They cannot continue to promise us that we should all fast when they are feasting, which is what is happening today. Nigerians, where politics enriches the few while many are in hunger and in starvation, must end. The old politics must end, and a new politics of prosperity for all must begin. Against all odds, we must return Nigeria to a path of prosperity and justice. We will not relent. We will not be discouraged. The mission is clear. Nigeria will rise again. I call on political leaders to reflect on the crisis confronting our nation and recognize this as a moment to transcend personal interests. We must reject corruption, bigotry, and division. We must embrace a new Nigeria where leadership is defined by competence, compassion, character, commitment. Despite today's challenges, the future remains bright. Happy Independence Day to all Nigerians. A new Nigeria is possible.
Okay, so that's it. I kind of agree with some of the things he said there. To be honest with you, with respect to the old political players, okay, but I also disagree with some of the things he said. And one of the things that he made mention of is insecurity. And insecurity, to be honest with you, I think I also said, earlier on today that I rated the government of Buhari, government of Tinubu low in that. So insecurity is not been doing well, and that's just by the results. In terms of economy, there are explanations that can be given, and I think if you've listened to Tinubu's earlier speech, he did lay down the path to economic recovery. He also stylishly praised the PDP. And that's where I was like, guy, what are you trying to do here? He praised the PDP, saying that Jonathan gave us in 2014 the African largest economy. But that was on the basis of what? What was the thing fueling that economy? It was more or less a very bad economic, what will I call it now? I'll call it economic voodoo or economic gymnastic, because if really Jonathan did very well in terms of the economy, then how come the Nigerian Stock Exchange didn't have a good recovery? Because the Nigerian Stock Exchange was already down since 2008 because of the global crisis. How come we didn't see record recovery in the Nigerian Stock Exchange? Number two is this: if it did very well, how come insecurity was a thing? Because bad economy leads to insecurity. And if you say, oh, fine, it did very well, how come people were calling on Buhari to come in to help stem the tide of corruption? So, as well as you want to paint it, you only castigated APC, which I believe they should be castigated, which I believe they should be bashed. But how come you stylishly took out PDP from the old formula, from the old cause of Nigerian problem of today? Is it because you're seeking to possibly, in a way, go back to that party to give you the presidential ticket? I'm just saying. I don't know. Again, you were talking about saying the future the future is kind of bleak with what we have right now. That's another thing. You were talking about taxes. Well, how come you said taxes is making Nigerians struggle, but then the new tax law or the tax bill will only come into effect in 2026? So what is it? Because as of today, the new tax bill has not even been passed. So are you suggesting that people should not pay their taxes? I'm a little bit surprised that you brought that up with respect to taxes. What else? Yeah, I mean, I think the spending is a little bit extravagant. And I think that Tinubu's administration should look into that. But at the same time, I think the reason why you don't see mass layoff of civil service and also of all these top, I would say, appointed civil servant is because by the time you actually look at the impact of the subsidy and all of the reforms, if you start sacking public workers or people working for the government, it becomes a little bit difficult, for them to even bear. So you had a lot of reforms that made it biting for people. So again, if you now say, oh, they should reduce costs and all of that, it's going to be a lot. I understand the fact that it was talking about spending also at the executive end. I think that also should be should be looked into. There's a lot of extravagant spending. From what I know, Tinubu is not someone that is shy of spending because he believes that if I can double the revenue, if I can increase the revenue, which he said for September revenue alone, it was 400% higher than what he got for a preceding 2-year period. So again, I think that's that. But that being said, my question to Peter Obi will be, what is he going to do about it? Right now, his supporters don't even have a clear strategy. The last time I checked, they were talking about having a ticket zone to the south. So if you really are interested in taking Nigeria out of all this mess, what is your clear strategy? I don't want to go into your record as an Anambra state government because when I looked at the numbers, especially when it comes to revenue generation and when it comes to massive, complex infrastructural change, Anambra does not rank as one of the best states when you were a governor. You did rank well when it comes to some MDG stuffs, but again, I don't see how that translates to sustainable development in the long run for the state. But I'm going to put that there, and just say that, that was a brutal assessment of the Tinubu's administration, and for all it's worth, I think he is within his right to actually call all those things that he sees as wrong, in this government as wrong. All the things this is wrong in this government is wrong. But at the same time, also, my question is, what is he going to do about it? Because right now, I don't think he has a clear strategy and a clear path to the presidency in 2027. So that's all I have to say with respect to this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And if you could subscribe to this channel, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.